Daniel Wilson, InsidePackSports.com. Coach, this is for you. I'm sure it's a fair assessment to say that in terms of the national scope, NC State's been the perennial bronze medalist in the Triangle ACC teams. With Coach Williams retired and Coach Krzyzewski on his way out the door, no disrespect intended to Coach Davis or Coach Shire. Do you see this season as a prime opportunity to kind of shift the hierarchy in the region and by consequence the conference?
Yeah, first of all, I'll say this. It's good to be back in front of you guys. Honestly, I know some of you guys may not believe this, but I miss you guys. And I'm glad that we can be face to face. I don't like the bronze medal thing. I can tell you that now, because we're not bronze medal to anybody. That being said, I'll spend, because I know I'll get a couple questions about this, and it is important. What Coach K and Roy Williams did for college basketball is probably second to none. When you look at those guys, between the two of them, they have 8 national championships, and Coach K has 6 gold medals. And so they have both been tremendous, not just for the ACC, but for our entire, basketball programs across the country. And so they will be missed. They'll be missed not just on the court and what they've done, but also just behind the scenes, the thing that they fought for. As far as the opportunity, we look for opportunity from the day that I got here. We're NC State. We don't try to be Duke. We don't try to be Carolina. They have their own programs, and we fight for us. I like the brand that we're building. We're getting there. We're putting some pieces on the floor that can be effective every night. I like the direction that our program's going in.
Let's stay on the front row just to your left.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Coach, you said you missed being back in here, being in front of people. What has the last 18 months taught you and kind of dealing with not only the pandemic, but the ever-changing culture of collegiate athletics and amateurism kind of seemingly going out the door?
Yeah, and when I say I miss being in front of you guys, I don't ever take for granted what you guys had to go through just to cover our teams. And I don't take for granted what you guys go through at the house. It's, the pandemic is not just for basketball or athletes. It's kind of everybody. The last 18 months has been probably the most challenging time that I've had as a coach. It's been different. It's been, unique in a bad way. We had, for us, just to talk about us last year, we had 2 separate pauses that I thought we were playing really good basketball, and then because of the pandemic, we kind of got set back. And then when you add the fact that our best leading scorer in Devin Daniels, who was averaging about 17 points a game and close to 5 or 6 rebounds, went down, we had to completely shift, who we are. NC State, our fan base is tremendous. They're passionate. We've had a top 25, attendance, been top 25 in attendance since 1999. And when you walk out in the PNC and you basically see 150 people, man, that's not a great experience. We've had a lot of wins in that building. We've been able to beat a lot of top 25 teams because of that, and it completely changed it. I have guys on my team, in particular Cam Hayes, who has never played in front of 20,000. These guys have, and it was completely different, and hopefully we can get back to being a little bit close to normal.
We're going to go about the third row just straight ahead. Young lady who's raising her hand.
Alyssa Ray, WNCN Raleigh. Coach, to have Manny back and DJ, how much confidence do you have in that veteran front court?
Well, I got Manny back. I don't have DJ back. DJ's gone, but that's okay.
Specifically Manny. I know that was a question mark too.
Yeah, I thought you knew something I didn't know. I was like, it's good. No, having Manny back is tremendous. During the off season, there was a lot of communication, and if you guys want to let Manny touch on it, I will, about possibly Manny Bates going somewhere else to play. And I will tell you, in college basketball, with the landscape of what basketball is about, those conversations will happen very often. It won't just be Manny Bates. It won't just be NC State. It'll be every program, every coach. But at the end of the day, after having a conversation with Manny and his mom, who is a tremendous lady, I think Manny understood the value of being at NC State, how he has developed, and we're so glad and grateful that he's with our program. He is, when you talk about these 2 guys, they're about NC State. They're 2 guys that I recruited straight out of high school, and each one of them have gotten better every year. They've added some to their game. For Manny Bates, I know a lot of you guys look at him as a defensive player, but I think you saw a glimpse of how good he could be offensively last year. You're not going to believe me. We just had a conversation, and I asked him right at lunch, I said, where do you think you rank as a three-point shooter on our team? And he said he was in the top 6. So he's improved his game. He's been able to make shots from outside. You will see him take some threes. The more he make, the more opportunities I'll give him. The more he miss, then we're going to have a conversation. But I'm excited. These are Manny not only just a good basketball player, but he's a tremendous person. He's a great ambassador for NC State and our basketball program. So I'm ecstatic that he's back. And DJ was a good player. We would have taken him back too, but it was better for him to go make some money.
Manny, would you like to respond to any or all of that?
I mean, I just like Coach said, like that's kind of stuff that's gonna happen. I just want to have an honest conversation with him and my mom, and honestly, I'm just glad to be back.
So we've got 2 more questions queued up. We're going to go second row just to your left here.
Jonas Pope, News and Observer. Coach, this time of year, everybody's optimistic and everybody's positive about looking forward to the season. But what's one thing or a couple of things that is kind of keeping you up at night? Any concerns or any things you want to see on the court or see played out in front of you as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think the thing that keeps me up at night is that the pandemic is not over. And I think sometimes we forget that. And, as a coach that was sitting at the ACC tournament, with the opportunity to go play Duke again to advance and for it to be taken away from you, and then obviously what we went through last year, that concerns me, that bothers me. I hope that we continue to practice safe and make sure that we all fight together to defeat the virus, because obviously the more we work together, the better opportunity that we'll have a chance to be able to play in front of people and you guys will be able to cover us live. And so if you had to ask me, Jonas, I would say that's the one thing that really bothers me. Most of the stuff that bothers coaches doesn't have to do with their team at this moment. It's about everything that's surrounding the team.
Coach, to your right, or players, everybody, to your right, second row near the audio pit here.
Hi, Coach. Hi, players. Chris Lee from WRL in Raleigh. Coach, you actually just touched on my question, but this is more so for Manny and Jericole. Coach can be at NC State for the rest of his life. You guys only have a few years to really be there, and he mentioned it. You guys maybe, beat Duke in 2020, make a run, go to the NCAA tournament. That's taken away. Your pauses last year, that also impacted the health and how many players were available. What type of hunger do you guys have personally for this year to try to make a run to get to the NCAA tournament, since your run as college basketball players, it's only a short amount of years you guys have to accomplish those types of things?
About being hungry, that's a great opportunity, like Coach said, to just be able to come out. I just think being on the court is just a blessing anyways, besides the fact that we have a pandemic going around. It's just got to take everything as it is and just keep working, and I think I'm really excited. So,
But I said to piggyback off that, we're just hungry to get back and play in front of our fans. We have some of the best fans in college basketball, so for us to miss out on that last year, it's going to be even better for us to come out this year and play in front of them.
Go second row to your left.
Corey Smith with Pack Pride. Jericole, this question's for you. I wanted to ask, going into the season, obviously the opportunity is much higher for you than it has been in years past. You've been more of a role player in the last few years, and you got to step up at the end of last season. How much have you tried to change your game and tried to, get ready for that? But also, what role do you see yourself playing now at this point? Because there is opportunity there at both the 3 and the 4.
right. As far as my role on the team, I feel like being a leader is the number one aspect and thing that I need to focus on as far as the team, doing whatever I need to do to kind of give back to the team so that we can win games, because that's the overall goal, and trying to get a championship at the end of the day. enhancing anything that I need to do as far as ball handling, shooting the ball, playing defense, and just being an all-around player. So.
To your right, towards the very back, gentleman in the light blue checkered.
Coach Will Pelagic from WFNZ in Charlotte. You mentioned it a little bit earlier with Manny coming back, but what makes him such a unique defender for you to have back? And I guess you've called him one of the best players you've coached in terms of defense. What makes him that?
Yeah, he's a game changer. You know, the way we play is we like to extend our defense. We like to pressure the ball. We take gambles. We love steals. We chart deflections. We try to get 40 deflections a game. And because of Manny Bates, we're allowed to play that way. He is, without a doubt, the best defensive player that I've ever had as assistant or a head coach. His timing is unbelievable. He's a great shot blocker. But we don't give him enough credit for the shots he don't block, but the ones that he alter. And, you know, I think that's what's made him special. You know, he's gotten better every year. And now with his shot blocking ability, it's allowed him now to be a little bit better offensive player where he can score in the paint and do some other things. So I just don't want to label him, though he is the best defensive player we've had. I think it's so much more to his game that you'll see other than just defense. Now, I don't want him to stop blocking shots now just because of that, but he's a tremendous shot blocker and a good offensive player also.
Back to the second row to the left.
Jericole, you mentioned earlier about being a leader. Being the most experienced guy doesn't automatically put someone in a leadership position. But what did you kind of do to step out and make sure the guys followed your lead and to become that leader this year? And as a follow-up, Manny, have you seen him take over and lead his team in the offseason?
I feel like being a leader doesn't even always have – actually, I would say leading by example is the first thing. Just trying to do whatever I can to help guys along the way, and if they need somebody to talk to or just be there for the team, not necessarily little things, actually. I focus on little things that people don't notice and just spreading love. So.
Team, your last question will come to the very back, to the left of the cameras. Gentleman raising his hand right here.
Yes, B-Dot, Carolina Blitz. Coach Keatts, I just want to ask you about the 3-3-6 guys on the team. Breon Pass, Cam Hayes looked like he's added some weight, looked like he's been in the weight room. Can you just speak on those guys and losing the 3-3-6 talent in Shaq Moore?
Yeah, you know, B-Dot, you know this. I love all my players, but we've been able to get a special bond of certain guys that have attended NC State that are in state. And those guys, they play with pride. You know, their pride is, you know, we're born and raised here in this state, and we want to represent NC State the right way. When you talk about Cam Hayes is a guy who I kind of threw in the fire last year. He was a freshman. As you guys who's covered the ACC for a long time know, it's really hard to compete and perform as a freshman, especially at the toughest position in college basketball as a point guard. But he did well. He had moments. He was really good. He's completely changed his body. You know, he's put on some good weight. He's starting to finish around the rim. He's starting to become a better leader. And I think that'll help us as he matures as a basketball player and as a leader. And then Breon Pass, his story is so incredible. When you think about this young man, he's won 3 state championships in football. And because of his dad and his relationship with his dad, who passed away, you know, wanted to be involved with basketball. It's a great story. One of the hardest workers on our team. You know, the other day in practice, he took 3 charges. He got on the floor twice. He brings the mentality of a football player to the basketball court, and he's going to be a really good basketball player. So we love our state guys. They represent us well. We've had a couple guys, as you talked about, Shaquille Moore, who I think is going to be a really good player as he transfers. I thought in his situation it was better for him to go somewhere else because some guys being close to home is not a strength. Sometimes it's a weakness. And in his case, I thought it would be better for him to be somewhere else.
NC State, before we let you go, Jericole, you had a birthday last week. Happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it.
He was looking forward to these guys singing him happy birthday, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. So.
Yeah, we've just run out of time, I'm afraid.